Right, this is VK7AX with a special broadcast to commemorate the installation of the ATV television repeater VK7RTV. Now we have, hopefully the sound is going out on the sound channel of the repeater, but it's not too good this evening. And I've also got some sound on channel Victor 147.4 back in the background, but some of you may hear it on there okay. The history of VK7AX, before I continue I should say, not go, we may lose repeater of the 7RTV repeater during some changes to videotape due to the breaks in sync. If this occurs, just be patient, it will reappear again hopefully in about 4 minutes time. So if, as I said, the repeater either times out after about an hour or drops out, just be patient, it should come back on again. Now for a little bit of the history of VK7RTV, some 10 years ago I saw the need for an amateur television repeater on the North West Coast. If ATV in the 70cm band was to be successful for transmission between coastal towns in this region, I often dreamed of a repeater in the dial range area. Approximately 3 years ago, the ATV Group, as it has become known, was formed and met regularly at the Penguin High School. It was decided early to go ahead with the construction of an ATV repeater. The initial propagation tests were carried out on Mount Duncan at that time. A portable exercise was arranged. A TV transmitter, camera, flying bedstead, that's an antenna for those that are not sure.
Would you come up on channel 50, Winston said, because they're getting no sound.
Oh, it's on channel Victor. Just stand by one. Sorry fellas, listening on channel Victor, I've been requested to go to channel 50, so just stand by. We've got a problem with the sound uplink at the moment on the repeater, so we're on channel 50, trust this is not interfering with any simplex contacts. Excuse now for the handheld microphone, it's the best we can do under the conditions. Perhaps I'll reiterate, just go over the little bit that I did mention. And that was in relation to the history of VK7RTV. Some 10 years ago I saw the need for an amateur television repeater on the North West Coast if ATV in the 70cm band was to be successful for transmission between coastal towns in this region. I often dreamed of a repeater in the dial range area. Approximately 3 years ago, the ATV Group, as it has become known, was formed and met regularly at the Penguin High School. It was decided early to go ahead with the construction of an ATV repeater. The initial propagation tests were carried out on Mount Duncan at that time. A portable exercise was arranged, the TV transmitter, camera, flying bedstead antenna, and the car battery were laboriously struggled with and transported by backpack to the summit of Mount Duncan. The transmissions were conducted from the summit to various locations from Latrobe to Burnie and proved to be quite successful, apart from one minor mishap with Stephen Russell's singlet and underwear, which he was forced to discard due to the ingress of sulphuric acid from the car battery he had lugged up the mountain on his back. Construction of the current repeater was commenced and has taken many months of building, testing and debugging to get the device to the final stage. A lengthy delay occurred in securing the special test permit from DOC. After some 9 months the permit was received and remote testing of the repeater was carried out at the QTH of Peter VK7BQ. Sounds like we have some rats under the house. In February this year, the first trip up to the mountain was arranged to transport the first lot of hardware. For those who are not aware, the climb to the summit takes approximately 45 minutes from where the cars are parked. Since this initial assault, many trips and many hours of work have been expended on transporting and installing equipment to the summit of Mount Duncan. Batteries weighing 60 pounds in the old imperial language approximately were carried in short bursts by many people, along with the masting, antennas, battery cabinet and equipment cabinets. It was personally very pleasing to see so many people involved. VK7RTV was initially activated for the first time on Friday the 26th of August. There are of course a couple of minor teething problems, one you've just come across this evening with the sound, namely the sound and the colour on the uplink signal. Despite these minor problems, it is functioning quite well. Amateur radio history has been made in Tasmania, this being the first licensed amateur television repeater in the VK7. And following is a list of persons involved, and I trust you'll bear with me. They're not necessarily in alphabetical order. We'll start with the licensed amateurs first. Ivan Ling, VK7XL, Darren Llewellyn, 17OW, Bill Lester, 7WL, Noel Walker, 7WN, Graham Pickford, 7ZGP, Terry McMullen, 7KTM, Robert Ferguson, 7ZOS, Colin Fuller, 7ZCF, Jeff Wickham, 7ZGW, Owen Langham, 7OL, Andrew Perkins, 7ZAP, Max Hardstaff, 7KMF, Arthur Travascus, 7SE, Ross Bonney, 7WP, Winston Nichols, 7EM, Jack Wright, 7WJ, Jeff Clark, 7WZ, Tony Clayton, 7AH, Tony Bidelf, 7AX, and the other helpers, Stephen Russell, Darren Dell, Peter Westerhoff, Jack Brewer, Greg Stammers, Nicole Lucas, Greg Ling, Nancy Langham, Robert Bonney, Todd Bidelf, Caroline Nichols, Jenny Nichols, David Clayton, James Travascus, Peter H. Berger. Can you turn the sound down on that, sir? Peter H. Berger, Dick Van Beek, Charlie Lester and David Llewellyn. Now some other persons, they were possibly most of the people that I've listed that have contributed with the installation of the actual repeater, but there are other people that have helped in various areas. And those being Noel Studdard, 7KNS, and Don Purton, 7DP, who were concerned with the original construction of the receiver unit. Peter Fudge, 7BQ, for power and availability of his property for initial testing out of the repeater. Special thanks to Jeff Clark, 7WZ, who assisted me with most of the antennas and the hardware. Jeff, again, 7WZ, and Jack Wright, 7WJ, for construction of battery cabinet and equipment cabinet. Bob Simpson, 7ZJS, for provision of aluminium material for both cabinets. Bruce Dykstra, 7KDY, construction of the ID filter, the interdigital filter. And also Kevin Hendricks, 7ZAH, for the alignment of same. Jim, 7OW, for his donation of one solar panel, and Lucas Industries for the donation of the other panel. And a special thanks to Jeff, 7WZ, who has put many hours in helping me and in fact building antennas, mast work and the assembly of the cabinets. I think it should be mentioned, there's probably most people would not be aware, or have probably wondered where most of the funding came for the repeater. The bulk of the funding came from one Todd Bidelf, who I guess has the biggest share in the repeater. And Todd raised something like $335 approximately in cutting lawns at my work QTH. So if you want to wrestle with the people that control the repeater, I guess you'll have to talk to Todd, and as I said, he has the biggest share, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would realise that. The singling out of people who have contributed, or should I say known to have contributed, is a risky in the belief that I may have left someone out. If I did, please accept my apology, and may I personally thank all those persons involved. And perhaps a little cliche, there were those who would have liked to have helped but couldn't. There were those who could have helped but didn't. And there were those who could have and did. Now we have some videotape. Firstly, a little section on some of the activity up the mountain. Some of you may have seen this, others may not have. It is not complete yet. We still wish to take some videotape as a final installation, but that will come in due course. Following that, there is a segment from VK5, a congratulatory segment from some of the ATVs in VK5, and also another tape, a short section from VK3 of the slight, I guess it's a congratulatory tape as well. And hopefully I'll return just to finish. This is VK7AX on 70 centimetres on VK7RTV with a special broadcast, I guess, to commemorate the commissioning of 7RTV. We'll now cross to some videotape. Where were we? On the actual installation of the repeater. So here we go.